The Great Midwest Athletic Conference postseason tournament begins here today on the Westmoreland Sports Network as the Seton Hill University Griffins welcome the Lake Erie College Storm for men's lacrosse semifinals action at Dick's Sporting Goods Fields here on the campus of Seton Hill. Sean Myers joined by Dan Flickinger, our producer / color analyst today, and Marcus Weekland, our videographer, for the first of two semifinals games to be played today. This is the 2-3 matchup. The Griffins, the number 2 seed. Lake Erie College, number 3 seed. Mercyhurst, the number 1 seed, will be number 4 late. With the winners moving on to Saturday to play for the GMAC Championship. As the teams line up, Seton Hill wearing the home yellow jerseys with the white numbers, and on the other side, the Storm clad in the black jerseys with the white numbers. This is the second meeting between these teams this season. The first one lopsided in favor of the Griffins. They won 25-5 here at home back on April the 2nd, but that was a Lake Erie team that was without two of their top performers offensively. Tommy Bixel and Blaine Wallace, who are the leaders in assists, goals, and points between them. So it should be a much different contest here today as these teams lined up, and we are underway here in semifinals action. As the Griffins, keyed by Logan Gray, control the opening faceoff. Gray, one of the very best in all Division II. He was an All-American third team preseason by USA Lacrosse magazine. Seton Hill, an offensively dangerous group. The Griffins, with 248 goals, lead the GMAC. Certainly feels like this could come down to the Griffins and the Mercyhurst Lakers again for a championship, but both teams would have to take care of business today as the first shot attempt of this contest wide for Seton Hill. Griffins, as I mentioned, leading the conference in goals, but they also lead in shots attempted, shots on goal, as they get one there as a penalty flag comes flying. Good save in net by Lincoln Potter, the goalkeeper for Lake Erie. We'll look at the starting lineup as soon as we can as Seton Hill continues his possession. That one slips out of the cross of Hanulak, recently joining the 100-point club in his career, as has Eddie Harper as one penalty. A 1-minute slashing penalty on Sean Gavin. And so Seton Hill goes man up already. Not even a minute and a half into this one. Great opportunity for the Griffins to get on the board.
Yeah, Sean, you expect to see Lake Erie try to throw their body around. They are a physical team. They lost pretty embarrassingly, I'm sure, on their side of things the first time around. So I'm sure they're coming in with a chip on their shoulder. The Griffins have to capitalize, maybe use aggressiveness against them.
We mentioned the Seton Hill team can fill the net. 25 goals the last time these teams met. Harper surveying. Great season it's been for McGarity. Harper is a long shot. It goes in. Seton Hill gets on the board first. It is unassisted goal for Jack Ellis. The redshirt sophomore gets his 8th of the season. And that comes man up, so Seton Hill taking advantage.
Goal scored by number 17, Jack Ellis, unassisted, 13-28.
Ellis with a long bomb going to the lower part of the goal, and as I just mentioned, you want to capitalize on your opportunities early, especially in a playoff game. The Griffins do so.
We mentioned the fact that Harper recently eclipsed 100 points, as has Hanulak, and they have another player in Zach Estabrooks who might get to that milestone today. He is 3 away from 100 career points.
Yeah, Estabrooks hasn't had as big of a season this year as maybe he has in the past, but certainly still a valuable player, especially with his experience.
Yeah, and he can finish 26 goals this season for Seton Hill. The Griffins led by 39 from Hanulak, an incredible number that ranks 3rd in the entire conference. Harper ranks 5th with his 33 markers. As the first possession now for the Storm, a team that was 4th in the preseason polls. They have surpassed that with their 3rd place regular season finish, 4-2 in conference play. As a bouncing shot misses wide of the net, and that net occupied by Kevin Moe. That is a big story for Seton Hill, as Moe, with all the accolades coming into the season, had been relegated to the backup role behind Josh Miller for almost the entirety of the season. But talking to the longtime head coach Brian Novotny, he said Moe's had a couple of good weeks between gameplay and certainly practice, and he's experienced playoff time. His opportunity to shine as he takes over the starting nod here today.
Yeah, Chris Isles, longtime assistant coach, also was a goalie here at Seton Hill, said that Moe's just playing better right now.
As that shot partially blocked, and then Moe with the easy stop. His numbers, limited sample size, 0-1 record, 754 goals against. That's actually the best in the conference, although, again, he has not played a lot, and a .603 save percentage, which paces the GMAC as well.
Well, and how nice is that too, Sean? How many teams can go to a guy that was a preseason All-American like Kevin Moe while he's waiting in the wings? I mean, not many guys have a guy like that. Not many teams have a guy like that on the bench, if you will. And for them to have an option like Kevin Moe, I mean, that is certainly something that other teams just don't have.
He's the Louis Domingue as Seton Hill gets another goal. That one just under the crossbar, courtesy of Arnold. And so Hill has scored a couple of goals in the early going for Arnold. That's his 9th of the season. And it's not been the usual suspects filling the net so far for Seton Hill in this one.
Yeah, and that means it's pretty scary for Lake Erie, right? When you have other guys, what a shot that was, right under the bar. When you have guys like this stepping up in a playoff game, that is absolutely huge. And a big start for Seton Hill. You always want to get off to a good start, but you can start putting those thoughts of what happened last time in Lake Erie's heads if you get off to this great start, and that's what Seton Hill has done so far.
That goal interrupted my Louis Domingue reference.
Yeah.
Penguins backup goaltender who got the victory last night in surprise relief duty.
Cool, calm, and collected. What do you say? He had spicy pork and broccoli. That's going to be like a thing now for the rest of the playoffs.
Not sure what meal Kevin Moe had earlier today. Did not get a chance to ask that. His team's up 2-0 as Nick Askin in possession now moves it. Lake Erie needs to get something going. Dawson Kindle slides it across. Good defense by the Griffins. Matuk taking away time and space. Down to 30 on the shot clock. Matuk draped all over Askin. And now from the X position, Askin comes out in front. Nearing 15 seconds on the shot clock. Lake Erie hasn't really got much of a look at all. There's a long shot, and Moe able to track that bouncer and quickly gets it out. Now the Griffins come on the counter. Inside. Oh, it's Harper. Crouch was able towards the net. McGarity Harper finishes for his season.
It all started with this, the save by Kevin Moe, getting his feet wet a little bit. He's been there and done that before. It starts with defense, Sean, and as you mentioned, Crouch steaming over the midfield line, and Harper there for the rebound.
Gary Harper is certainly no stranger to finishing around the net. We mentioned in the top 5 in goals, assists, and points this season, as he adds his 34th tally. Loose ball, and the Griffins win it. I'm talking to Coach Novotny. I said, what was the key last time against this Lake Erie team? He said they had some dominant possessions, and they really did a great job at the faceoffs. They'll need to continue to do that. So far, so good.
Yeah, the draws are so important in lacrosse.
And that feels like just about every game it's going to be in favor of Seton Hill with a great player like Gray. As a turnover here, taking it away is Thomas Polden for Lake Erie, but a long pass does not connect. Looking for Blaine Wallace, the leading goal scorer for the visitors. Wallace was out when these teams met earlier this season, and obviously he's sorely missed.
Yeah, some key players may have been out for Lake Erie, but how do they stop the Seton Hill offense? That's the key today. They haven't so far.
A lot of contact. Some of the Griffins thought that could have been a hold as play continues. It was Estabrooks who was obstructed briefly. Griffins looking to add another, and that shot wide of the net. We mentioned Lincoln Potter between the pipes. 5-6 record for him, 1247 goals against, and a .507 save percentage. He ranks 5th in the GMAC in both goal percentage.
Looks like we do have a penalty on Lake Erie, 30-second hold.
8:36 remaining in the first. Griffins won it.
Zephaniah Scott, I believe, the guilty party. So the Griffins already with a man-up marker. Look to extend this 3-0 lead. Harper dishes off. Out to the X. The ball loose. And the Storm has it. Lofstead double-teamed. And now it's Potter.
Back to full strength are the Storm.
That's a big kill for them. Now can they get any momentum on this end? Mo has not been tested a lot so far. And time out that Brian Novotny disagreed. He thought the ball was no longer possession of the Storm. We'll keep it right here. We mentioned Seton Hill, the number 2 seed in this conference with the 5-1 mark in GMAC play. The lone loss came against Mercyhurst. That was a 18-16 setback up in Erie for the Griffs.
And what a game that was, Sean. I had a chance to watch that at home. There were a lot of people there, a lot of Mercyhurst fans. It was loud, and it was a lot of fun, I'm sure, to play in, too. Seton Hill gave them all they could, and hopefully we will see that rematch this weekend.
A year ago, it was Mercyhurst, the number 1 seed, who bounced the Griffins in the GMAC championship game 11-7. That same Lakers team defeated Lake Erie in the semis last year 23-9. Mercyhurst has been a terrific program, a couple of GMAC titles, but the Griffins also have won 2 in GMAC play, both 2017 and 2018. They would love it. 3rd, and the regional rankings just came out today, Dan. Seton Hill number 8. The top 6 teams get in. It is not an automatic qualifier from the GMAC. So talking to Coach Novotny, he said, I think we control our own destiny. Obviously, that has to begin with a victory here today.
Yeah, I think if they win this game and then they would defeat Mercyhurst, don't hold me to this, obviously, our boy Jason Green, they would certainly dramatically improve to a regional. I was talking to Siles before the game, and I could tell he was a little bit upset. And I said, "What's wrong, Chris?" He said, "It's frustrating. We didn't move up the regional rankings at all." But again, as Coach Novotny said to you, Sean, if Seton Hill can win these 2 games, this game and then likely against Mercyhurst, let's be honest, this weekend, then the Griffins can probably get into a regional.
Yeah, you would think that would do the trick, but all they can worry about is winning this first game and then see what might follow. So far, they're well positioned, up 3-0 in this opening quarter, just about halfway through it. Askin with possession for Lake Erie. Lake Erie College based in Ohio, as a violation against the Storm leads to a turnover. Sam Ashton, 4th-year head coach for the Storm. Had a chance to talk to him. He was the head coach at the University of Dallas for a couple of years before taking over the helm of this program. Previously was an assistant at Lake Erie.
That's not the result Lake Erie wanted after taking a timeout to give the possession right back to Seton Hill.
Shot, that one didn't miss by much. It was Estabrooks. We mentioned he's closing in on 100 career points. Not the nicest day weather-wise here in western Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I thought it'd be a little warmer today, but I guess we were full.
Well, Seton Hill, not deterred by that, gets a goal courtesy of Jeremy Sforzo as the senior makes it 4-0. That's his 18th of the season from in tight, and the Griffins continue to tack on.
Just what the doctor ordered. Again, you beat a team pretty badly the first time around. That team needs to get off to a good start, I think, when the teams meet again. And Lake Erie obviously did not get off to a good start today. Seton Hill really doing some big things early.
Sforzo's had a nice year as a distributor this season. He's fourth in the conference with 19 assists, but adds a goal to his resume. As the Griffins with another chance right off of the draw. There is no time for a letdown if you're an opponent of Seton Hill. If they score, the Griffins are going to try to get that face-off and come right back in a matter of seconds. As Arnold, who had a goal earlier, has possession. Seton Hill up 4-0. As we're more than halfway through the opening quarter of play. Griffins looking to punch their ticket back to another championship. Harper well defended that time, misses high, but it's behind the net to Peyton Gensler. Turning shot, and looked like it was headed wide, but there to snatch it up is Potter.
Gensler just a bowling ball, man. Very thick kid. Show a little ups there, huh? A little pirouette, maybe?
I would certainly say that the Storm need a goal here. Momentum squarely in the Griffins' favor, playing here at home.
And that's the thing about lacrosse, too. I mean, we always talk about, like, basketball is a game of runs. Well, lacrosse can certainly be a game of runs. So if a team is down early, they can get right back into it. We've seen it so many times where a team can go down by a couple of goals and all of a sudden you snap your fingers and they're up by a goal.
That was Luthert with that last shot attempt. He has it back down. .30 seconds left on the shot clock. Now to the near side.
You can hear that good communication from the Seton Hill bench.
Griffins continue to build a wall defensively. That shot bounces high. Mo got a stick on it and now gets some help from a teammate in the form of Christian Crouch.
Yeah, Crouch is one of those unsung heroes, Sean, a veteran kid, 6'2" senior out of Manchester, Maryland, just does some big things maybe that don't show up necessarily on the stat sheet.
Hanulak lost it inside, but it's scooped up by Harper, and he finishes for his second. McGarity, Harper up to 35 goals on the season. It is 5-0.
Seton Hill goal scored by 99, McGarity, Harper. And on the assist, 22, Thomas Hanulak, 4:34 remaining in the first. Griffins goal, 99.
McGarity, Harper, second time, Sean. I don't know that that's necessarily a rebound. I don't think the initial shot got to the goal, but the second time that Harper has cleaned up garbage around the goal, and that's so important. I mean, that's what they tell you. Go to the goal, go hard, and good things are going to happen. You're going to find loose balls, and he did so and puts it right into the cage.
Hanulak gets the helper.
Face off of the Storm, number 40, Brett Selby. And for the Griffins, 26 saves.
So Seton Hill really in command of this one, as you see a teaching moment there for the 16th year head coach, Brian Novotny. 151-79 entering this season. He's added 10 more wins and 6 losses to that career record. High school coach in the area as well previously at Mount Lebanon and Franklin Regional.
He also spoke at the Griffin Sports Awards on Sunday. The men's lacrosse team had the most money raised on the Day of Giving, and I know they want to thank all of the alumni and all of the supporters of Seton Hill men's lacrosse out there for donating on the Day of Giving last week.
And that shot by Euro just missed. 4 minutes left in this opening quarter of play. Harper looking for the hat, he just missed.
I don't know if they call it the natural hat trick in lacrosse too, but he's looking for 3 in this first quarter. This
Lake Erie team coming off of a nice win last time out. 17-5 against Davis and Elkins. That was at home. It was a big collision. Ball is loose. And the Storm has it. As pulled in with some speed. Dishes off to Wallace, the leading goal scorer. Ellis, Arnold, Swarzo, and a couple by Harper, the goals for Seton Hill in this opening frame, as they look to get back to the championship game. Face either number 1 Mercyhurst or number 4 Walsh. That matchup gets underway at 4 o'clock. Shaw, good save by Mo.
Yeah, I mean, how big is that? You're up 5-0, and now you have a goalie with a lot of confidence in there.
And there's the first goal. Nice feed, and Connor Dent, the beneficiary, gets his 16th marker of the season, so the senior makes it 5-1.
Lake Erie goal scored by number 25, Connor Dent.
I don't know how much Mo could have done with this. Good ball movement here in tight, and Dent with a quick shot from point-blank range, and that gets Lake Erie on the board.
I mentioned the 17-5 victory last time out. Lake Erie scored all 4 goals in the first period of that one, led 4-0, and then added 4 more. They had an 8-1 lead at the half. Really took command early in that one, but it's been just the opposite here today. As the ball squirts out on the faceoff, and the Griffins have it. It's Harper. See now carries behind the net. Seton Hill's lead's been trimmed to 4. Later stages of the first period of play. Sean Myers, Dan Flicking are here on the Westmoreland Sports Network. Thanks for tuning in. If you want to send us an email, you could do that. And a little envelope icon on the screen.
Also, if you email us, you're watching on one of those platforms, you can send it to info@westmorelandsports.com. Our men's lacrosse broadcasts are our viewership for them is always very high, so we thank you so much for tuning in. We'd love to hear from you. Want to wish good luck to either team.
Pretty nice turnout here today, all things considered as well. Not easy for a lot of people to make a 3 o'clock weekday game as a tie-up right at midfield. Possession will go to the Storm. Got some doggies here in the house playing as well, I see. 3 dogs all by one another, and 2 of them are having a blast over there.
We always see the one big collie. I don't know who that belongs to, but actually there's 2 big collies over there today.
Yeah, all the big dogs out for this one. And there's a goal, and that's Dawson Kindle, a bouncer, as he was one of the top 10 goal scorers in this league, and he adds his 29th of the season.
Goal scored by number 9, Dawson Kindle.
Yeah, Kindle's really good. And Lake Erie trying to get back some of that momentum here. 2 straight for the Storm.
26 straight.
And that comes with just over a minute left in this first quarter. There's the big dogs.
Look at those jerseys, too. Wonder where they got those. Practice jerseys. There you go. There's another one. Griffins almost score off the face-off. We're looking at the dogs across.
Seton Hill would love to tack on a 6th goal here in the final minute of this opening quarter. Griffins scored the first 5. The last 2 have been in favor of the Storm. You didn't bring your dog today, either of your dogs today, right?
No, I told Marcus to swing by and grab him, but he didn't.
Big ricochet there, comes all the way out to midfield, and now a violation goes against Lake Erie. It'll give possession back to Seton Hill. Hit off someone in front, it looked like.
It did. Trying to see what Griffin, they're going to have to reset the clock here. Oh, right off the helmet.
Look out.
Don't know who that hit off of, Sean, but
that'll ring your bell even with that helmet on.
Couldn't quite catch the number, but
might be Grady Arnold. He came out and took his helmet off right now. So
take one more look at it, see if we can spot what Griffin. It may have been. Nah, it couldn't be 24.
No.
I don't know.
That comes in pretty hot, almost 100 miles an hour.
That shot from Hanulak.
Yeah, that's not fun. So the clock showing 27, and now they're going to add 1 second. Mark Kotarski was down there before. I wonder if he's screwing around with the clock.
I think he is. Saw Seton Hill football coach Dan Day was today too. I think he's still here somewhere. Look at that, Sean. Check this out.
Yeah, be careful up there. Coach Day.
Trainer Peggy in attendance as well. Some of the coach's assistants.
That shot missing the net by David St. Clair. Seconds left. Time ticket down. And Hanulak unable to find the mark. 9 seconds now remain. And a very adamant Sam Ashton, head coach for Lake Erie, wants his team to close this out without permitting a late goal. Now just 2.6 seconds remain. Griffins tried to get it in front, but that will do it for the opening 15 minutes. Good start for Seton Hill. They were up 5-0. Couple of late goals for the Storm. Has it 5-2 after the first. We'll take a quick break. Second quarter upcoming right here on the Westmoreland Sports Network.
When I first came back, one of the first things that blew me away was our facilities. How the fields have grown up in that whole complex down the hill. Our weight room now, I mean, how that has been remodeled and changed and overhauled.
Our baseball field is, in my opinion, one of the best in the nation, Division II wise. And just having Sullivan Gym open for us all the time with the nets in there whenever we wanted to get work in, which is possibly why I got to where I am, because all the extra work that I did put in.
I think our facilities are one of the best across the P-Stacks, and that's definitely a huge recruiting tool as we are able to draw the
big school. I think I like the professor's name. I like that when I'm walking down the hall, I can say hi to someone and I actually know them.
Punch its ticket game. That's Saturday. It will be at the best remaining seed. I always get that confused. Is it the highest seed? Is it the lowest seed? It kind of, I guess, depends. But the best remaining seed, which means that if Mercyhurst wins, the Lakers will host. Seton Hill winning, seeing an upset in that 1-4 matchup and having a chance to host here. Still have some work to do here with a 3-goal and a violation against the Storm to get this second quarter underway. Sean and Dan here on Westmoreland Sports. Videographer today is Marcus Weekland, doing his best to fill the shoes left by Chris Smith.
Chris usually doesn't wear shoes. So.
Sforzo quickly on. The grip close. Densler has it. Densler's had a really nice season, the junior. In tight, shot and a goal. Andy Davis gets the marker. And Seton Hill starts the second quarter much like they started the opening quarter.
I think really big goal for Seton Hill. Obviously, I mentioned earlier, game of runs. You don't want Lake Erie to get any of that momentum back, which they started to with 2 straight goals. The Griffins start out the second quarter with a quick one. Andy Davis right in the middle.
Davis's 27th marker of the season. It is an offense that has put up a lot of goals this year for Seton Hill. Mentioned Gensler playing some good ball recently. He had 2 goals and 2 assists last time out. 15-2 victory at home against Walsh. Davis had 3 goals and an assist in that game. Thomas Hanulak now 11th all-time in scoring. As a penalty upcoming, flag thrown. Now there's some historic players on this Griffins roster this season, no doubt. As Askin has it. And now to Kindle. He's got one of the goals for the visitors. Bouncing shot. Mo tracks that offering from Luther. And now the penalty will be assessed. Logan Gray, 30-second violation. So man-up opportunity for the Storm.
Some of these stats here, Sean, after the first quarter plus. Seton Hill holds a 20-9 edge in shots, 8-6 edge in shots on goal. The Griffins 1 for 2 man up. Ground balls, Seton Hill 7, Lake Erie 6. Clears, Griffins 4 for 4, Lake Erie 3 for 4. Seton Hill has won 7 of 10 faceoffs. And in terms of turnovers, Griffins have turned it over 4 times.
That one hits the post and then caroms in. What a peculiar goal. I'm not sure who's going to get credit for it, but the Storm will gladly take it. A man-up marker hit the post, and then it looked like maybe hit off of someone's foot and caromed in.
A lot of traffic in front.
Took the shot.
And then
I think they announced Connor.
Take one more look at it here.
Face off of the Storm 2 play for the Griffins, 26th goal.
Comes with 13-12 left in this opening half.
Yeah, Kindle with the initial shot that went off of Denton into the cage, so some bad luck for Seton Hill's Mo there. Lake Erie certainly will take it.
Well, they were probably thinking when it hit the post, bad luck to us, but short-lived. For Dent, his second goal of this game. Dent actually got Lake Erie on the board with under 3 minutes left in the opening quarter. Has a different feel than the first time these teams met, in which Seton Hill, that was a blow from just down, and ultimately it's snatched up. But if nothing else, this hanging around, and that's more than what you can say when they met in the regular season. We said it before, it was a dominant 25-5 performance for the Griffs. This one has been competitive. Griffins scored the first, but they scored. Tommy Bixel, who missed the previous meeting with injury, has it. Dishes off. Shot hits the side of the net, maybe off of the post as well, from Kindle.
You could just blast it at the back of the net if that's the case.
Lake Erie moving around the perimeter. Player goes down as Askin lost his footing. He was whacked in the process, and now they give it back to Mo. The Griffins take back possession. Looking to create a little bit of separation. Estabrooks. Now to the X. 60 on the shot clock. Seton Hill scored 1 goal so far in this second quarter. Looking to get a second. Oh, good save. Point blank shot by St. Clair as the ball flies high into the air after the Potter stop. Take another look. That's a danger area. Griffins couldn't capitalize the first time. Seconds on the. And now a hold against Storm will reset the shot clock to 80. And it was a 60 reset, not 80. Now they got it squared away. Griffins doubling up the Storm right now. Harper. Shot. Harper's third of the afternoon makes it 7-3.
Seton Hill goal scored by 99, McGarity Harper, and assisted 10-19 remaining in the second.
What a career it has been for McGarity Harper. So Seton Hill back up by 4. We'll see if Gray can continue his success. This time it's won by the visitors. Aiden Knight able to scoop up that ground ball. As we hear a train passing behind us in this press box. The tree, right now we're called it.
I think everybody calls it the old tree house. Chris Isles cleaned today, though.
Yes.
He moved our backdrop, not our backdrop, the Seton Hill backdrop. We came in and he said, I moved it when I was cleaning.
Yeah, if we do any post-game interviews, if the Griffins prevail, then we're going to have to change our angles up a little bit.
Yes. Marcus, you better be ready, buddy.
Marcus is always ready. Griffins have been ready from the get-go in this one, holding a 7-3 lead, nearing 9 minutes left in the first half. Hanulak, that pass deflected, so it'll stay with the Griffs. Seton Hill without pretty key player today in Lane Harrich. He's out injured. They move on. Might be. That would be a pretty nice boost. Points is getting 20 goals. Shot and a goal. As Sforzo gets the marker. So Jeremy Sforzo with his second of this contest makes it 8-3.
That goal going all the way out to Las Vegas. I'm sure Jeremy's uncle is tuned in.
Vail transfer from Howard Community College. A little bit of momentum that had built for Lake Erie has dissipated with the Griffins getting the last two, and they control the draw. So Seton Hill's restored its 5-goal lead. That's the high water mark for the Griffins in this one. 8-3, halfway through the second quarter of play. Griffins looking to go 2-0 this season against the Storm. This one of more significance, it's the semifinals of the GMAC tournament. Loose ball. And a play up now for Lake.
Blow the whistle there with player down.
Believe that's Thomas Polden.
Yep.
And he is hobbled right now as his head coach and a trainer will come out to check on the senior.
Polden from Australia.
It's certainly an international flavor to this roster for the Storm. Canadian players as well. State of New York well represented. And I went down to Texas to get a player also. And their keeper Potter's also from Australia.
Got a feel for Thomas here, a senior, possibly playing in his final. Now he's second, not looking good, so hopefully he can get back in there. But never like to see a senior get hurt in a playoff game, Sean, especially when your team is the underdog.
Oh, you know how tough these guys are, and I'm sure if there's any way that he can get cleared to play, he will. But sometimes it's out of the player's hands, unfortunately, when it comes to an injury. Now back to game action. Long pass. And the Griffins ultimately come up with it. Maybe trying to do a little too much there.
Good ground ball pickup by Blake Profio, the senior out of Ohio.
Jacob Matuk has it. Some trash talk between the teams, it sounded like.
Chirping, they call it, maybe?
Yeah. Harper already with 3. A nice feed in front. And did it cross the line? It did. Peyton Gensler, I think it maybe clipped the post, but then fell and trickled across the line. So Gensler gets his 21st of the season.
44, Peyton Gensler. And on the assist, 17 remaining in the second. Griffins goal.
Gensler gets on play. Let's take a look at how this one went in. You see Potter reaching back, trying to keep it out.
I wonder if the initial shot went in and he just didn't realize it. Either way, it went back in.
Oh, now a Griffin down in a heap. Is that Gray? And then a shot in close. Mo makes the stop. It's still loose, and now they will stop it. And the trainer's coming out.
Mike Fleury checking on Gray. Some good sportsmanship there. Gives him a little tap.
Now he gets up and
looks like the right arm, Sean.
Yeah, he's struggling. That is a player they cannot afford to lose. As he's talking to the trainers, it's a round of applause, but that's certainly a concern for Seton Hill.
Oh, man, look at that hard whack by Brett Selby for Lake Erie, right on the right arm. One more time here, bang, maybe on the wrist. Oh, man. Got him right on the wrist.
$7:12 showing on the clock. So Seton Hill on the alternate possession. Neither team had possession when the whistle was blown, according to the official. So the equivalent of a jump ball. There's another collision as team's trying to scoop up the ground ball, and ultimately it'll be the Storm who flip it back to Potter.
Logan Gray in the Excella Health tent down there. Thank you so much to Excella Health sports trainers for what they do for our Seton Hill athletes.
What a great partnership. Well, the Griffins, they're in command of this one. 9-3 as we are under 6.5 left in this opening half. Closest the Storm have been a 3-goal margin of deficit. Down to 35 on the shot clock. On the back door, looked like that chance was there, but no clean shot, and the Griffins come up with it. Seton Hill's done a pretty nice job defensively.
Pretty good pass in front by Nick Askin, but you mentioned the Griffins' defense there.
And so now Seton back. David St. Clair will slow it down. 55 on the shot clock. There's some substitutions. Hanulak takes over with Justin Dion to the sideline. Hanulak rips it, he scores. Got a lot behind that, and he gets the Griffins to double digits.
The Seton Hill goal scored by number 22, Thomas Hanulak, unassisted. 5:19 remaining in the second. Griffins goal, 22.
Hanulak, who already had a couple of helpers,
face off to the storm. Number 2
gets the goal.
Now
10-3, Seton Hill in front.
O.J. Morris.
Going to have a new Griffin taking the face-off here, Sean. O.J. Morris, a freshman out of Dublin, Ohio. You just hope and pray that Logan Gray is okay and will be able to play if the Griffins can hold on for this win against likely Mercyhurst, because he is just so important. But this also gives an opportunity for Morris to get his feet wet here.
Gray was 217 of 311 this season entering today. So the Griffins already up 10-3, looking to tack on more. They would love to, for all intents and purposes, put this game away by the half. Hanulak, didn't miss by much. He whipped that one. Under 5 minutes left in the first half. Griffins have had command from the get-go. Seton Hill scored the first 5 markers. Second. How about a sixth? Inside, Andy Davis. It feels like this one's starting to get away from Lake Erie.
Scored by number 28, Andy Davis, unassisted.
Another goal down low for the Griffins, point-blank range, whatever you want to call it. Davis able to put it in.
57, Morris.
Davis scores for the second time this period. And for Seton, that is the consecutive marker. So the first 5 goals and the most recent 5 goals, and that will prompt a timeout. We'll step aside. Griffins up big in this one, 11-3 here in the second quarter on the Westmoreland Sports Network.
Right now at Smale Kia, get low 1.9% APR on a 2022 Kia Forte, complete with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Join us in saluting Smale Kia's shining stars, supporting student athletes in our area.
The Collision Shop by Jason Mignone is your one-stop shop for all things auto body repair. Our experienced technicians and state-of-the-art facilities have you covered on both passenger and heavy-duty vehicle repairs, including scratches, scrapes, and dents, free estimates, body repairs, welding, refinishing, glass replacement, and more. Our all-new alignment and calibration shop has the tooling, equipment, and staffing to ensure top-quality alignment and calibration adjustments for your vehicle. Our friendly office staff is more than happy to assist you through every step of your vehicle's repair process. Visit the Collision Shop by Jason.com for our complete list of services.
Back here, Seton Hill holding an 11-3 lead. Latter stages of the second quarter of play. Sean Myers, Dan Flickinger here. Dan doing double duty. Analyst Single duty. Man.
Marcus isn't as talented as me.
Well, that's debatable.
He's getting there. But he knows more about tea than I do.
Yeah,
I'll say that.
That is true. As the Griffins win another, so Morris has done a nice job. Won both of his draws. Sam Latour picks it up for Seton Hill.
Yeah, Patrick Hanulak telling us that Logan Gray has his jersey off.
And you hope it's kind of a situation-based precaution. Griffin's up pretty convincingly at this point, but it certainly did not look good as he was coming off. No doubt about that. It's a nice save there. Snatched by Potter. Well, down one of your top players for the Griffins, it becomes even more of a uphill climb.
Sean, Logan Gray came into today 4th in the country in face-off winning percentage.
Yeah, he was a third-team All-American preseason. One of 3 Griffins USA with pre-accolades. Also, them, and Hanulak was a second-team preseason All-American. Oh, big collision. His body's hit the deck. And on a couple players tangled up. Everyone seems to be okay out of that. The Griffins have it back. It is a pretty chilly day here. A lot of rain last night and this morning. We've avoided any of that so far during this game, which is a good sign.
You don't like rain?
Not real big fan of rain. As Seton Hill reining in the goals as Blake Morrow gets his first of the day. This one has swung drastically in favor of the Griffins as this second quarter's moved along.
Scored by number 27, Blake Morrow, unassisted, 234.
That's just the 5th goal from
Morrow.
now 12.
For the Griffins.
Nice little move there by Morrow, getting free from a defender and finds the back of the cage.
Did your area get any remnants of the tornado that came through yesterday?
It was really bad. When I was driving home from the baseball game yesterday, right in Delmont, the cars, including me, literally just stopped because it wasn't raining. It wasn't raining. Then all of a sudden, rain, wind, not. Just thank. It was pretty wild.
Did you check and make sure no one was injured?
I did. Yep. Got out of my car.
That was nice.
Made sure nobody was hurt.
Whipping shot and another one. How about 2 goals for Morrow in a span of about a minute? Less than a minute. I mentioned he's not been a prolific scorer this season, but he's showing the golden touch right here late in this second quarter.
The music is being played before the horn.
That one coming just 26 seconds apart.
Can't play the goal song before the horn. There it is. Little flex.
Now, Jason Green's not here today, so maybe an excuse.
Yeah, softball was supposed to start early, 12:30, but their game against Bloomsburg was moved to 4:30 because of rain. They are in Quakertown.
You ever been?
Never. By yourself?
Nope.
Okay.
Been to Quaker Valley.
Once or twice.
Not quite the same. Hand now dishes off. Seton Hill up 13-3 as this second quarter continues to wind as a sharp angle shot misses from Arnold. Griffins looking to head back to the championship. Keep in mind, if they want to get to the That time, I believe Gensler was looking for a foul. It does stay with the Griffins. 20 on the shot clock. And second shot and a goal. Second. The Summer continues to tack on. It's 14-3.
Seton Hill goal scored by number 2, Grady Arnold. And on the assist, 44, Peyton Gensler.
Gensler gets the helper.
And the second Griffins goal, 2, Arnold. Face off to the Storm.
Now this was a 6-3 game earlier this quarter.
Yeah, remember Lake Erie scored back-to-back goals. Griffin's first goal of the second quarter was a big one.
They have scored 8 in a row now, have the Griffs. It's a pretty good way to crush the soul of an opponent, I would say. Mentioned that this is a Lake Erie team that is much better equipped to compete here. When these teams met earlier, and when I talked to their head coach, Sam Aston, he said, we have to clear the ball effectively, play our game. And I said, well, what does your game look like? And he said, well, we have to limit Seton Hill's possessions. We have to control it, maybe try to shorten the game a little bit. And that has not happened for them in this second quarter. That shot just off for Dent. He's had a couple of their goals. As we're under 30 seconds left. That's off the side of the net as the flag comes in. Wind gusting quite a bit here. I regret not bringing a jacket today.
Come on, Sean.
You got the hoodie, but the shorts, which is...
I like the combination.
Yeah.
My legs don't get cold.
Marcus similarly a jacket as a cross-checking penalty.
1 minute for a cross-check.
To the Griffs.
19.5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, Marcus has the jacket with the shorts. And a hat to keep his head warm as well.
And a lot of hair to keep his head warm.
So final 20 seconds of the first half. Lake for a late marker. That ball and looks like it's going to be penalized. As the Griffins will just run down this clock. First half in the books. A dominant second quarter for the Griffins. Let's see the call here.
And at the horn.
I believe they're going to make as the officials coming over. Seton Hill up 14-3 in the first half. And are we going to get the official call here or making us wait? So a couple of penalties on the Storm, including an unsportsmanlike at the end of the period. Griffins up big, and they'll try to take advantage when they come back for the third quarter. It is 14-3 Seton Hill. As we head into the half, we'll continue our coverage right here on the Westmoreland Sports Network.
Choosing an early childhood development program is a big decision, and Seton Hill University is here to help. At Seton Hill's Child Development Center, your 3, 4, or 5-year-old will have fun while developing social skills, self-confidence, and creating a foundation for learning. Here, we foster a mastery of life skills that will prepare your child for success in any endeavor. Learn more about the Seton Hill University Child Development Center by visiting setonhill.edu/childdevelopment.
We know speaking with your team Not a confrontation. Establish good communications, break through barriers, and be firm but loving. Here are some helpful tips. Choose a good place and time to chat. Talk with openness. Actively listen. Offer empathy and support. For more information, visit us online at wedacinc.org. Westmoreland Drug and Alcohol Commission. Prevention is key.
The Westmoreland Sports Network is available on social media. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram and like our page on Facebook for the latest Westmoreland County sports news, WSN broadcast links, scores, game stories, videos, pictures, and much, much more. Also be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for archived interviews and broadcast highlights. The Westmoreland Sports Network is available whenever and however you want it.
Your next golf adventure course and man opportunity call for gentle sloping fairways and the purest putting surfaces around. Manor Valley Golf Course in Export is the perfect place to host your next golf outing, banquet party, or shower. Manor Valley also offers league play and great membership rates. Tee times available. Call 724-7442.
At D'Annunzio's, our menu is extensive with an abundance of selections. The next best thing to being at one of our 3 locations is having our frozen food and jarred sauce in your own home. For our frozen food selections, we have wedding soup, pasta fagioli, lasagna, stuffed cheese rigatoni, ricotta cavatelli, and potato gnocchi. Our jarred sauces include the original, smooth, marinara, and tomato cream. These products can all be found at our restaurants or your local grocer.
It's not just a home or a car. It's the 6 months you save for your Ultra HD flat screen, just in time for football season. And the overtime you worked for that 3rd car, so your teen can drive himself to practice. While other insurance companies just see them as a bundle or combo, State Farm agent Alex Hetrick sees your home and car as things you work really hard for. Alex understands what your things really mean to you. Talk to State Farm Alex Murraysville. Your insurance today.
Jamie P. Deandrith Physical Therapy has been providing the Greensburg community with professional, personalized physical therapies since 2003. We specialize in sports medicine, orthopedics, and women's health. Our priority is centering for you. 8814 or therapy.com. The quality of your life with Jamie P. Deandrith Physical Therapy.
This is how far we'll go to treat heart, lung, and vascular disease. 15 millimeters. At Excella Health, we believe less can be more. That's why we use minimally invasive surgery in the treatment of coronary artery disease, heart valve repair and replacement, lung cancer, and conditions of the peripheral arteries. For our patients, that means less blood loss, less post-operative pain, and a faster recovery. It means that a disease process that took decades to develop can, in a few hours, be reversed. And for us, it means providing the most advanced and sophisticated care for patients in our region. The Heart, Lung, and Vascular Institute at Excella Health. Expert care here.
Dr. Derek Grieco Dentistry in Murraysville has been devoted to restoring and enhancing the natural beauty of smiles for nearly 30 years. Dr. Grieco
Back here at the half, it's the Excella Health halftime report. Excella Health Expert Care here. Seton Hill dominating this one 14-3 through the first half of play. The Griffins outscoring Lake Erie 9-1 in the second quarter, and it came with the final 8 goals of that frame. Take a look at some of the tallies throughout. And this is sort of what we come to expect from Seton Hill this season. It is a team that can certainly fill the net. The Griffins leading the GMAC with 248 goals through 16 games. They have scored 15 goals in their last game against Walsh. Even in a loss against the University of Tampa, scored 16, 28 against Alderson Broadus, 18 against Frostburg, even 16 against first place Mercyhurst. We mentioned 25 last time they met Lake Erie. It is an explosive group. You give them an inch, they'll take a mile, and that's exactly what the Griffins were able to do. Really, I thought that the good start, and then more than anything else, the response in the second after Lake Erie showed a little bit of fight.
Yeah, Lake Erie with 2 straight goals, I mentioned, to really, I think it was the end of first quarter, and the Griffins were able to get that first tally of the second quarter. And then actually Lake Erie came back with the 4th goal, so it was a 6-4 game at one point. But as you mentioned, Seton Hill really getting things rolling. Kevin Moe made a couple of nice saves, and this is Erie. One of ever since that, Griffins got on the board a number of times and lead this game at the half 14-3 as we take a look at some of the other goals on this long run for the Griffins. Obviously, the health of Logan Gray has to be a concern. I thought maybe they were looking at his wrist, perhaps his shoulder is the issue, but you certainly hope it's just for precautionary reasons and hope that he's healthy enough to go next week, if the Griffins, of course, can hold on here in the second half.
Taking a look at the goal scorers in this one, Jack Ellis opened the scoring for Seton Hill in the opening quarter. That was the first of 5 consecutive. Grady Arnold followed, McGarity Harper, Jeremy Sforzo, and then Harper again to make it 5-0. Connor Dent got Lake Erie on the board. Dawson Kindle followed to make it 5-2. That was the score at the end of the opening quarter of play. Seton Hill made it 6-2, courtesy of Andy Davis, less than a minute into the second. Connor Dent got his second for the Storm, but then the Griffins consecutive. Harper, Sforzo, Peyton Gensler, Thomas Hanulak, Davis, Blake Morrow again, and then Arnold put the finishing touches on an outstanding quarter of play. Seton Hill up 14-3, and Flick, you have some stats that I would think reflect a pretty dominant opening 30 minutes.
I do, yeah. The Griffins with 33 shots overall, 16 for Lake Erie. Seton Hill with 18 of those 33 shots on goal. Lake Erie with 10 of their 16 shots. One for opportunities or extra man. Start with the extra man in the second half. Gripping the edge in ground balls, 13-10. In clears, Seton Hill 8 for 9. Lake Erie 6 for 8. The Griffins 13 of 19 in faceoffs. Lake Erie 6 for 19. Turnovers, Griffins have turned it over 6 times. Lake Erie 5. Looking at the penalties, Lake Erie has taken 4. Seton Hill has taken 2. So what do you want to see in the second half? Well, all the Griffins with this huge lead. Certainly, the other team to start taking liberties against you. I know maybe that was a slight issue the first time these teams played, listening to some of the talk at halftime. The first time these teams played, I don't know that it got real chippy in the second half, but anytime you get into a game like this, the losing team can end up being a little bit chippy. So if you're Seton Hill, you want to try to avoid that. You want to try to play your game and head into the championship with some momentum. Obviously, anything can happen. You're up by 11 goals, but you just want to keep playing the game the right way.
Yeah, I thought Kevin Moe was impressive, too. Again, he has really not played much at all this season. So even though he wasn't tested a ton, Moe made some good stops, yielding just 3 goals. And I'll say this. If Kevin Moe, if they decide to go with him potentially going forward and he gets into maybe, what was expected of him heading into the season, it could give the Griffins even more of an advantage as they waste little time again. 3rd consecutive time that they have opened a period with the goal almost immediately, as Seton Hill now makes it 15-3.
Seton Hill goal scored by number 28, Andy Davis.
Andy Davis gets his 3rd of this contest. Davis got a goal less than a minute into the second quarter as well. This time it took just 14 seconds. I'm sure that Coach Novotny wanted his team to get off to a hot start here and not allow any hope of a comeback for Lake Erie, and the Griffins getting a goal 14 seconds in and now winning the faceoff. Morris. He replaced Gray, who's out of uniform after he was injured in the first half. Sforzo, who was penalized, comes out for Seton Hill. So he's back on the field. And Seton Hill gets another one. Handulack bar down, an absolute laser, makes it 16-3.
Seton Hill goal scored by number 22, Thomas Handulack. And on the assist, 82, Jeremy Sforzo, 14.
So 2 goals in less than a minute to start the third.
22, Handulack.
Handulack, top scores in program history, continues to tack on.
For the Griffins, 57, North.
He's a fifth-year guy for this Griffins team by way of Pine Richland. The Griffins win another face-off. Well, I know certainly they want Gray out there, but Morris has done a nice job in relief of him. So the Griffins have it one more time. They have scored 10 consecutive goals in this game.
Well, I think it's important too, Sean, that if Gray cannot play, maybe a little bit of a silver lining. If he can't play on Saturday, at least the injury came in the first half to allow Morris to get some playing time. Not that he hasn't had any playing time this year, but maybe to kind of get his feet wet a little bit more and get something under his belt before a championship game.
56 of 83 on faceoffs coming in for him. That's 675. That's
so he's
pretty darn good. Not near 700 like Gray, but not that far behind.
Some of those Griffin blowouts he's gotten time.
Now that shot blocked. Giving up the body that time was Graham Lofstead from Wheeling, West Virginia. Lindsley High School. Griffins, for the second time this season, looks like on their way to a blowout victory against the Storm. And there's no doubt there's a big disparity between the top 2 teams and everyone else in this GMAC conference, as that one doesn't make it through. I'm sure if you're affiliated with any of the other schools, it's got to be a little frustrating. You feel like, okay, every year, Mercyhurst, Seton Hill, can anyone really compete with them? This Lake Erie team, the third place team at 4-2, but really just not competitive going against either Mercyhurst or Seton Hill this season.
When you look back years ago, Lake Erie did have to Mercyhurst, but you're compete with the 2 big dog conference.
Yeah, they went 6-1 in 2018. We mentioned it was Seton Hill that won the conference tournament in 2018. 6-2 the year before for the Storm in conference play. It is downright chilly right now.
Yeah, I feel like it's gotten a little darker too.
Yeah. Ominous here in Greensburg. That shot whipped wide. This third quarter action continues here at Dick's Sporting Goods Field. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't yet, feel free to reach out to us via email.
Let's go, Griffin fans. We usually hear from a few people.
Yeah, especially TJ DeStefano.
Well, we don't need to hear from him. But anybody else that's out there watching, if your last name isn't DeStefano, send us an email.
Shots. And the ball's loose, and it's Lake Erie, the team that secures it. And now Dan peels back. Tried a drop pass there, but could not connect with Tim Woods.
Sean, we're really excited to be bringing everybody the PSAC Women's Lacrosse Tournament this weekend. Seton Hill is fortunate enough to host the semifinal and final games on Friday and Sunday. We'll have all of the games.
Yeah, win or lose for the Griffins, it will be here on Sunday, the championship.
Courtney Grove winning, I believe, Coach of the Year, if I remember correctly, at the GSAs on Sunday.
There's a save by Potter. Yeah, so we'll have the two semifinals games back-to-back on Friday and the championship on Sunday.
And when I say Coach of the Year, I mean for Seton Hill. It was a Seton Hill. She was a Seton Hill Coach of the Year. She did not win Coach of the Year in the PSAC, which was surprising. She's done an excellent job this season, and every season she's been here.
That one bounces over the net by Brett Selby. Well, and that's saying something because there's year in and year out a lot of good teams here at Seton Hill, especially in the spring. And you look at what the softball team has done. It's crazy to say that it's a down year for baseball, and yet the baseball team still has a record.
Yeah, it's the higher standard, you know, with baseball and men's lacrosse. Two of the top sports here at Seton Hill, you hold yourself to that higher standard. So if you maybe have, you call it a down year, but a lot of other teams would kill for a year like that.
Griffin's baseball team had some dramatic wins over the weekend.
Yeah, walk-off win over Mercyhurst in the second game, and
softball had a dramatic victory as well. Walk-off of their own on Saturday. It's the Griffins in complete command of this one, and it's, I think, now to the point where they try to shorten this game a little bit, it feels like.
Well, again, you never want to think, let's stay healthy, but the coaches, I'm sure, in the back of their mind, let's try to do everything we can, get some new guys in there. Vincent Cogliandro took that last shot, Sean, for Seton Hill. Cogliandro, a sophomore out of Manlius, New York. So they are getting some other guys in here. The Seton Hill coaching staff is.
They have some reserves in. Vincent Cogliandro is one of those players getting an opportunity. And a massive roster in Hill. So, yeah, players are just waiting their opportunity. You compare the roster size, it's probably at least double, if not more than that, compared to Lake Erie. As this ball is loose, and the Griffins had it momentarily. And now it's still up for grabs. Neither team able to get a clear possession. And it will stay with the Storm.
I think the dog wanted the ball over there.
Yeah.
He was ready to jump in there.
The big dog.
His counterpart over there is just laying down, not even paying attention to the game. Must not be a sports fan.
Askin, and now a whistle. And a flag, so we'll see a penalty assessed here.
Good look at Alex Callahan, number 91, one of the new faces in for Seton Hill. And now he heads towards the bench.
Callahan, a freshman on this squad. And out in disbelief right now, Sam Ashton. He wants an explanation. And now some trash talk between the penalized player and Tommy Bixel and the Griffins. And Brian Novotny, head coach for Seton Hill, trying to back his players up a little bit.
Penalty on Lake Erie, 1 minute for unnecessary roughness.
It's a 1 minute penalty. There's Coach.
Griffins man up.
Former Pitt Panther player.
Wonder how he felt about the Kenny Pickett pick.
Maybe we can ask him.
Maybe. Pickett to Pickens, Sean.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can get used to that. Any Steeler games.
My Nittany Lions had 8 players drafted in total, most in the Big Ten.
You had to shoehorn that in, didn't you?
I sure did. It was a down year for quarterbacks in the draft. About that. Karam's off the post, goes all the way over to the wall, and it will be possession to the Storm. Just one quarterback taken in the first 2 rounds.
Yeah, Kevin Colbert was on The Fan today, and I give credit to Joe Starkey. He asked him point blank, why were the Steelers the only team to take a quarterback until what? Malik Willis, or who went before him?
Desmond Ritter.
Ritter went before him, but why were the Steelers the only one to take a quarterback in the first round or two? And
what a goal by Harper! McGarity, Harper, that's spectacular. I don't know that he's going to ever be able to top this one.
Oh my.
So Harper's 4th. And it makes it 17-3.
Oh, that might make the GSAs next year. How are you ready for that as a goalie? You're not.
Yeah, well, obviously you're not. Yeah, different face-off player. Mark Strunk. So they're giving the freshman from Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, a chance.
But going back to that, Kevin Colbert basically answered the question diplomatically, saying that it was our decision as a team, and we felt that Kenny was that good and that type of thing. But it is interesting that you wonder how far Pickett would have fell if the Steelers didn't take him at 20.
Yeah. This one, all Griffins, 17-3 here in the third. Remember, it was 6-3 early in the second quarter. Griffins with 11 unanswered. And it'll stay that way for the time being, as Tim Woods unable to find the mark. Woods by way of South Buffalo, New York. Well, it's a series that Seton Hill has certainly had the better of. As a bouncing shot, Mo continues to come up big. Seton Hill, going back to 2010, has won 10 of the 14 meetings between these teams. The last time that Lake Erie won was 2017. It was a 10-9 victory at Lake Erie as an injured player now for the Storm. Second time that we've seen the trainers come out for Lake Erie today.
Mo making that save, Sean. Typically in this situation, and maybe you will see Kevin come out after 3 quarters, but the fact that, it's been a while since he's played a full game, I would think that Kevin would probably stay in the game for the remainder of it just to get work in.
And that injured player down is Blaine Wallace, the senior from Windsor, Ontario, Canada. Team leader in goals, points, and shots, as he slowly and gingerly make his way off. Hope that he's able to come back in this one.
You can see the jerseys whipping here. I mean, we're up in the press box, can't really tell how windy it is, but
5:23 left in this third quarter. Griffins up 17-3.
See the baseball field and the practice field in between us, and the softball field off in the distance there as well.
Seton Hill's baseball game yesterday was canceled, I saw, right?
It was.
It's a bummer. Regular season coming to an end this weekend. Mentioned softball in action in their conference tournament. By the way, speaking of Seton Hill baseball, Flick, I know you know this, but don't spoil it. hoping a future Q&A on the Westmoreland Sports Network will feature a former Seton Hill baseball star. Trying to make that happen. Charity Henderson, the most recent Q&A that we have up. Former Southmoreland Scotty 3 sports standout as the Griffins forced a takeaway. And then going down to his knees. Nice job there by Crouch to move it. Charity Henderson plays a Cal U, which is also in the PSA.
Director, C schools would be interested in men's lacrosse, and I said, has there been any real chatter about that? And he said, no, not really. He said Gannon, I think, kind of thought about it, but we'll see if that comes to fruition in the future.
Yeah, these Seton Hill and Mercyhurst, they're associate members of the GMAC. The other schools that compete in men's lacrosse has a chance here, and that one stays out. Obviously, Lake Erie, Walsh, Wheeling, Davison, Elkins, and Alderson Broadus. 4 of the 7 teams making the postseason tournament. A couple of semifinals matchups today. A big collision there, and Griffin's a little too physical. There's another player slow to get up, and that's Dawson Kindle. So a couple of the top guys for Lake Erie hobbled as a flag goes flying. He said, Seton Hill, you just want to avoid this on the other end, but certainly the Griffins don't want to be making plays like that either.
Sam Latour knocked him down.
So man-up situation.
Good shot of our guy, Chris Isles. He has meant so much to this men's lacrosse program over the years. Again, a player and a coach.
It's an unsportsmanlike that's going on Lake Erie that came after that exchange. So the Griffins will be man-up. There's a discussion between coach and official. Sam Ashton played at Lenore Rhine, 2014 grad. He was a All-American honorable mention. All right, so no man-up scenario then. There's a good look at the 4th-year head man for Lake Erie. Got the shades out today. This less than sunny day.
Yeah, Brian Rose picked me up with all the equipment in the parking lot, and I grabbed my sunglasses and said, well, I guess I don't need these.
And here I was walking like a sucker from the parking lot over here to the press box.
Yeah, we didn't care about you that much.
I think you actually did offer, but I saw how quickly you guys drive this.
I was kidding.
I don't trust you.
I didn't mean it. Sincere.
Quickly darted went on the air. The Griffins, this one seemingly all but decided. Calling soccer out there for Seton Hill right now.
I have an email from Frank and Bonnie Williams. Good game so far from Cage Williams family. Thank you very much, guys, for that email.
Well, and the good game getting even better. Seton Hill adds a goal as Connor Zostand, the freshman from Vestal, New York, makes it 18-3.
Seton Hill goal scored by number 12, Connor Zostand, and on the assist, 27, Blake Morrow.
Blake Morrow with the assist, nice little short pass and from the short side.
Face off of the Storm 2, Flurry.
Well, I mentioned he's from Vestal, New York. Does that hometown sound familiar at all to you, Flick?
It does.
Logan Weiland,
yes,
terrific football player who's also on the lacrosse roster.
He's on the roster. I don't know that he's part of the team anymore, Sean, but obviously he was a great football player. Also, Connor Zostand, you mentioned from Vestal, New York. There's a couple of others, I thought, on this roster from Vestal. Maybe not. But that New York area, one from Victor, New York.
Yeah, and I think, let's be honest, in Pennsylvania at the high school level is not really known for boys lacrosse. So you can get some players from around here. Obviously, we mentioned that there is some local products, Hanulac, chief amongst them from Pine Richland, but you have to probably go out of the western Pennsylvania area if you're going to want to get some of the top players. And obviously, Coach Novotny's done a nice job finding the right players for his program.
And he also has a few alumni that are coaching locally in the WPIAL, so that's neat to see as we have a whistle. I want to read an email from Kara Davidson, enjoying your coverage from Manchester, Maryland. Go Griffins. Shout out to number 6, Christian Crouch.
Well, I don't know if you mentioned this, Flick, because sometimes I zone you out, but we were talking about Vestal. Chris Isles played there.
Yes, I knew there was someone else from Vestal, for goodness sakes.
And there's a goal. Will it count? No goal. So Lake Erie looked like it had snapped its long drought, but to no avail as the officials confer and wipe that one off. Isles, by the way, a 2009 graduate of Vestal High School. Crease violation on the Storm.
And the pushed into the crease. I mean, you can decide yourself. It certainly was close here.
And now we have another flag that comes out.
He was definitely knocked down by one of the Griffins, but well, that was a big discussion yesterday in the Penguins playoff game against the Rangers. The Rangers nearly scored the potential go-ahead and game-winning goal late in the third period, but they waved it off after review.
Things unraveling a little bit here on Lake Erie, another unsportsmanlike.
1:55 remaining in the third.
I want to say hello to Jason Profio. Thanks so much for the great broadcast. It's awesome. I'm able to view this from San Antonio, Texas while I'm traveling for work. Thanks, Jason. Appreciate you checking in.
So the official jotting down everything here. We were told that one of the Storm players unavailable today because of an ejection, and that's Jackman Scully. He's actually by way of Kiski Prep.
Yeah.
Even though he is from Ontario, Canada, Kiski very well known in Salzburg.
And let's be honest, there's very, very little chance that Walsh would beat Mercyhurst, but if some type of miracle does happen, Seton Hill would actually, as long as they go on and win this one, would host the championship game, but I'm not crossing my fingers for that.
Well, and that's fair, but I think you could, I think it's safe to say that Seton Hill's going to win this one at this point. They have certainly done everything to this point to really be dominant. 18-3, the Griffins lead as we near the final minute of the third. This is reminiscent of the first game now, in which Seton Hill won 25-5. Shot, there's another one. So the Griffins continue to tack on. That goal comes courtesy of Grady Arnold.
Seton Hill goal scored by number 2, Grady Arnold. And more. 1:22 remaining in the third. Griffins goal.
19-3, Griffins in front. They have scored 13 unanswered.
Sean, want to say hello to Rhonda Matuick. Way to go, Griffins, watching all the way from Calgary, Canada, as the very proud aunt of Jacob Matuick on the Griffins. Love your insightful and delightful commentary. Cheers. Thank you, Rhonda. Did you hear that, Sean? Delightful and insightful.
Must be referring to you.
We have to start using that on like our promos for the latest delightful and insightful commentary. Watch the Westmoreland Sports Network. Does that sound good?
Yeah, I think that sounds great.
Okay. Thank you, Rhonda. Sean will be paying you royalties for that.
Griffins win another draw. That was Strunk once again. It seems like whoever they put out there today, Seton Hill's done wonderfully on the faceoffs. as we're closing in on the end of the third quarter, down to a minute left in it. The Griffins have not let down in this third quarter. They were up 14-3 at the half, and they've scored 5 more goals unanswered in this period.
Lake Erie back to full strength, by the way.
And for Lake Erie, obviously getting to the postseason tournament is an accomplishment in itself, but does not look like it's going to be a positive note to end the season on. Mentioned their 2 conference losses to the top 2 teams and weren't particularly competitive this season against either Seton Hill or Mercyhurst, as the Griffins add another goal. This time it is Morrow. That is his 3rd. Remember, he scored consecutive goals late in the second period. So Morrow makes it 20-3. That coming with just 13 seconds left in the third.
20-goal mark for the Griffins. I feel like it's kind of like hit mark game, right?
Likely contributor. 4 goals coming in. He's nearly matched that in this game alone. It's not the first time the Griffins have reached 20 goals this season. They had 22 against Wheeling, 22 against Davis and Elkins, 25, as we mentioned, against Lake Erie, 28 against Alderson Broadus. So the third quarter comes to an end. Griffins dominate this one. It is 20-3. We'll head to the fourth. Griffins look to punch their ticket to the championship game right here on WSN.
When I first came back, one of the first things that blew me away was our facilities. How the fields have grown up in that whole complex down the hill. Our weight room now, I mean, how that has been, remodeled and changed and overhauled.
Our baseball field is, in my opinion, one of the best in the nation, Division II wise. And just having Sullivan Gym open for us all the time with the nets in there whenever we wanted to get work in, which is possibly why I got to where I am, because all the extra work that I did put in.
I think our facilities are one of the best across the P-Stacks, and that's definitely a huge recruiting tool as we are able to draw the athletes for the academics in addition to the great things they can get on the athletic side of it.
I don't think I would be able to thrive in a big school. I think I like that the professors know my name. I like that when I'm walking down the hall I can say hi to someone and I actually know them.
The all-new 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander at Sindel Mitsubishi. Drive one today for $239 a month, plus an industry-leading 10-year warranty. The all-new Outlander at Sindel Mitsubishi. Get thunderstruck.
We head to the fourth quarter. Griffins up 20-3 over Lake Erie. Seton Hill will be moving on to the championship on Saturday. We'll see if it's against number 1 seed Mercyhurst, number 4 Walsh, as that goes in. So the Griffins strike early in all 4 quarters. It's now 21-3.
Not long ago, the game was the game, but my gosh, has Seton Hill hit the gas pedal.
Yeah, that latest marker, Noah Vandewater, redshirt freshman from Seneca Valley. And for him, his 3rd goal this season.
I believe Josh Miller is now in goal for Seton Hill, so Mo will check counters.
On the other side, Potter remains between the pipes. Kenneth Schobert is their backup goaltender.
Some quick stats here. Seton Hill 48-2. Extra 4-6. Lake Erie 1 for 3. Griffins dominating ground balls 21-12. Seton Hill 13 of 14 in clears. Lake Erie 12 of 15. Griffins have turned it over 9 times. Griffins have turned it over 10 times. Lake Erie with 9 turnovers. Lake Erie with 6 penalties. The Griffins with 3.
And a number of those unsportsmanlike on the Storm. Seton Hill up big in this one, 21-3, the Griffins lead. Good save there.
The last goal by Lake Erie came at the 13-12 mark of the second quarter.
Yeah,
it was the last goal.
And it made it 6-3. Now it's now 21-3. So you do the math, 15 in a row for the home team.
I think it's worth talking about the Griffins' defense. Of course, led all the time as you talk about a team's defense by their goalie. But, I mean, Lake Erie, they're one of the top teams in the conference. I know there's a big discrepancy between Seton Hill, Mercyhurst, and then everybody below them. But to only have scored 3 goals, I mean, you got to give it to Seton Hill for that.
It's a team that scored 148 throughout the season, so they do have some punch. Mentioned last time out they had 17 against Davis and Elkins.
Especially in a playoff game, too, where they're playing for their season.
Now, it certainly looks like the season's going to continue for Seton Hill. Championship will be played noon on Saturday. The venue will be determined by who the best remaining seed is. So if Mercyhurst wins, the game will be up in Erie. If the Lakers lose, it will be right here in as Walsh. That game getting started an hour later than this one. So by the time we go off the air, that one will not be final. Post! And as Arnold wrung that one off the pipe. Keep tying right now. Don't want to trip. So with that post, shot clock resets to 60 for the Griffs.
Grady Arnold, what a day. He's had 3 goals and an assist, 4 points.
Yeah, and he's a guy that had just 10 points coming into this game. He has stepped up. We mentioned Lane Harridge out. They're hoping to get him back. So with him unavailable today, needed some other guys to step up, and Arnold's been chief amongst them. Griffins continue to dominate this possession. No rush right now for the team clad in yellow. Long shot save made. Mentioned Seton Hill made it to the championship game last year. They also made it to the NCAA tournament. They lost in overtime 12-11 in the opening round to end their season with a record of 11-3 a year ago.
As you mentioned, Sean, if they want to get their way back to the NCAA tournament, probably have to win both of these games today and then on Saturday, because they are right now outside with the regional rankings announced today.
Number 8 coming into today with the top 6 teams will move on. It was St. Anselm College who ended the Griffin season in that heartbreaking overtime loss last year. Well, the semifinals, it was a different opponent, but a pretty similar outcome a year ago. Seton Hill was the number 2 seed. They played number 3 Walsh and won 22-4 last year in the semifinals. There's a penalty upcoming. Flag tossed high into the air. So a rare possession for the Storm. Feels like it's been a long, long time since they've gotten anything going. I think one of the big keys for Seton Hill right now is make sure everyone keeps their composure. Delay of game call against the Griffins.
Technical.
I believe that's assessed to. Just over 10 minutes left in this one. Seton Hill outscoring Lake Erie 9-1 in the second quarter to turn what was a close game at the time into a lopsided affair. Griffins championship bound once again. They last won the conference title in 2018. Remember, there was no champion in 2020. The last two champions crowned, it has been the Lakers.
Carla Flewitt checks in with us, watching from Calgary, Canada. Go Griffs. Special shout out to number 41, Maddie Flewitt. His mama loves him, he says, Sean.
Alberta's been,
she says.
Well represented today.
Yeah. Thank you, Carla. Kenneth Schobert is now in goal for Lake Erie.
Mentioned he was the backup. No record, 4.00 goals against and a save percentage of .500. That is a very limited sample size. He has faced two shots. Look at the freshman. Looks like too many. Made hay man up today. They'll likely have another opportunity. Getting whacked inside is Arnold. Griffins still have it, down to 10 on the shot clock. They'll have to go to work quickly here. Bouncing shot, good adjustment by Schobert. And the shot clock does reset, and that gives another 60 seconds if Seton Hill elects to use it all. Sean Myers, Dan Westmoreland, geographer today. Were you there when they called him Marcus Weakling?
I was.
Franklin Regional, I think, right?
That's right, it was.
Yeah. Poor guy.
I don't think Marcus has recovered from that mentally.
Yeah.
Finally get possession due to the Storm here.
Now the penalty will be assessed. Well, that ran probably what felt like about 2 minutes extra. Some Storm faithful probably not happy with how this afternoon has progressed.
Penalty on Lake Erie. 30-second technical. Offsides, too many men.
We are down to 8 minutes and 2 seconds remaining in this one. It has not been a nice day here in terms of the weather, but if you're a Seton Hill fan, it's been a beautiful afternoon. Griffins scored the first 5. Closest the Storm has been a 3-goal deficit at both 5-2 and 6-3. Long shot, good save. Once it was 6-3, the Griffins have opened up a 15-0 run that is still ongoing. Ball stripped away from Vandewater. Penalties expired. We getting some rain out there now? Am I correct on that? It's hard to tell from our vantage point.
Marcus, put your hand out the window.
Pretty dry.
He's saying it's pretty dry.
Okay.
And that's as scientific as it gets.
Yeah.
That's how they do it.
Lake Erie, obviously they understand the outcome's been decided, but want to have a strong finish here if you're the visitors, as that one's thrown away.
I can be a meteorologist, Sean. You just say partly cloudy, chance of rain today.
Yeah.
Chance of precipitation.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of wind, maybe not. There we go.
Oh, look out. Big hit there. As Mineweezer went down hard. Looks to be just fine. Well, you and I know all too well, Flick, once you get to the spring sports, you do check the weather apps quite often.
Yeah, they become very important. And, of course, when you go to places, really anywhere, high school or college, the trainers are usually responsible for dealing with lightning and seeing how far away lightning is. And I know there's like a lightning detector here at Seton Hill and some of the bigger high schools as well.
That one looks like it got blocked in front. And now Miller up with it. We mentioned Miller has been the man in net this year. Record of 9-5, 1081 goals against, and a .491 save percentage. Surprising that Mercyhurst leading, but just by a 2-goal margin, 10-8, as those teams near the half.
Interesting.
And a player shaken up right now for Seton Hill and Benjamin Rohan, talking his way off. So you thought this one could be lopsided, that one could be lopsided, and ultimately this one will end up being a pretty one-sided affair, but wait and see on the other semifinals. Don't make the reservations up in Erie yet if you're Seton Hill. That's the Griffins. They just want to shorten this game and get out of here with a well-played victory. I've seen a couple of players both ways shaken up at times. Don't want to have anyone else banged up heading into Saturday. Good save by Schobert. And a reset of the shot clock.
Seton Hill softball is in the second inning of the first game of the PSAC tournament. It's 3-2 Seton Hill. 5 runs scoring in the first inning.
Oh, usually they give Seton Hill 3 runs and their pitchers will make that stand, although they do not have their ace for that game, Morgan Ryan. But Griffins have incredible pitching depth. I saw who I would say is probably their number 4 or number 5 starting pitcher in Lauren Burdig throw a complete game 1-hit shutout. So, I mean, that speaks to the they have on that shot. Chloe Elliott, terrific freshman campaign in the circle for Seton Hill softball. Oh, the doggies are back in action. They're getting all fired up over there again.
They're counting down.
Soccer? Oh, whips that one wide. It's playtime. Nope, that one's fired up about something.
Trash talk. Maybe the other dog's from Lake Erie. I don't know.
Yeah. There's a goal. Well, Soccer had a couple of cracks at it, and he makes that one count as the Griffins extend the lead 22-3.
32, Colin Soccer, unassisted, 4:09 remaining in the fourth. Griffins goal, 32, Soccer, first off of the scoring 2 Flurry. For the Griffins, 57, Morris.
So for Collins. Marcus, our videographer, was tempted to just stop focusing on the action for a little while, and he wanted to get a close-up of the doggies playing, but he said his job is to follow the gameplay. RoboCam can do the rest.
He's lame.
We'll be back here, as Flick mentioned before, on Friday for women's lacrosse action. A doubleheader in the semifinals with Seton Hill, the host team. I'll be joined by Jack Ridenauer, lacrosse guru from the hotbed of lacrosse in Maryland originally. Seton Hill broke this game open in the second quarter. Griffins have never looked back as another delayed penalty upcoming as we near 3 minutes left in this one. Arnold still out there for Seton Hill. Leah Markey has checked in for the Griffs. Eden used to pile on. Believe that was Zostan.
The Seton Hill goal, scored by number 12, Connor Zostan.
It was.
And on the assist, 27, Blake Morrow.
His second goal.
Morrow, the nice feed in front, wide open, was Zostan to put that one in on the delayed penalty.
40, Shelby. For the Griffins, 57.
Well, I think from early in the second quarter on, this one could not have gone much better for Seton Hill. Obviously, you lament the injury to terrific face-off man Logan Gray. But as far as how just incredible. Up 20 goals in this one. Remember, it was a 20-goal margin of victory when these teams met in the regular season. That one was 25-5. Densler had 3 goals and 2 assists in that one. Harper had 2 goals and 3 assists. Askin had a couple of goals for Lake Erie in that loss first time around. Oh, look out. Where did that catch? Schobert looked like right underneath the helmet, or maybe clipped his mask a little bit. It had a loud thud. There's the Griffins have dominant. Griffins, their opponent, either number 1 Mercyhurst, number 4 Walsh. That game nearing or at the half right now.
11-8 at the half, Mercyhurst. Thank you, Patrick.
Surprised that that game was as competitive so far as it has been. Griffins right now, they're just content to run this clock down. And Seton Hill's going to go to 11-6 overall this season. Mentioned a year ago they finished at 11-3. Griffins, even in defeat, they were really competitive this year. They dropped the season opener against Lewis University by a single goal, 14-13. Lost to the University of Indianapolis 11-7. Versus Florida Tech 14-6. 2-goal loss to Mercy College 10-8. And we mentioned the loss against Mercyhurst was a 2-goal setback 18-16. They also lost to the University of Tampa 19-16. So they weren't blown out in any game this season. Despite the 6 losses, the Griffins have opponent. Down to the final seconds. Is there a timeout called?
Lake Erie called timeout.
A timeout by Lake Erie.
I don't know if they want to recognize maybe they're seniors or something. I don't know. I don't know that they're actually doing that, though.
So it stops the clock with 9 seconds left.
When this happens in basketball, you always say, well, down the road, later in the season, they may be in a situation like this where the game is close and they need to, but...
Do you say it in that voice?
Yes, absolutely. I say it in a sarcastic voice because at the end of basketball games, it drives me crazy too, but that's not the case here. Because
Roger Downs feels attacked right now.
This is going to be the last game of the season for Lake Erie.
You're out of town scoreboard for the ECC Semifinals.
No, of course. I think Roger's right now. Roger, the L says when a timeout is called late in the game.
The NE10 semifinals, Lemoyne 9, St. Anthony 7 in the third quarter.
By the way, Seton Hill basketball, men's basketball with a new coach, some local ties. So, ever to Brian Ryan. Tell you, if he wants to change his, he could certainly have a career in broadcasting. He was terrific during softball.
Yeah, I loved having Ryan on.
Well, down to the final few seconds, and I don't think that Lake Erie's even going to really get a good look here. We'll see. Oh, they do get a shot off, misses the mark, and that will do it. Seton Hill with a dominant semifinals victory. The Griffins win 23-3. They're headed back to the GMAC championship. Seton Hill improves to 11-6, and for Lake Erie, the season ends with a mark of 7-7. We'll take a break, come back with the post game as we continue our coverage of Griffins lacrosse right here on the Westmoreland Sports Network.
The most incredible machine ever created didn't come with replacement parts. Until now. Rebuilding the human body takes skill, not just science. Some of the region's most accomplished orthopedists are right here at Excella Health. Our team of specialists are using non-surgical treatments, minimally invasive procedures, and the most sophisticated and complex surgical techniques to restore all aspects of human motion. All right. Whether you walk or fly. Orthopedics at Excella Health. Expert care begins here.
It's not just a home or a car. It's the 6 months you save for your Ultra HD flat screen, just in time for football season, and the overtime you worked for that third car, so your teen can drive himself to practice. While other insurance companies just see them as a bundle or combo, State Farm agent Alex Hetrick sees your home and car as things you work really hard for. Alex understands what your things really mean to you. Talk to State Farm agent Alex Hetrick in Murraysville for your home and auto insurance today.
We get it. High school is tough. Life is tough. There's so much pressure from teachers, parents, and your peers. There's so much emphasis on your future, what you're going to do with yourself.
Sometimes it's easier to give in and drink a little, smoke a little, or take a little. But this stuff truly does have consequences.
If you can't handle high school, how are you going to handle prison? How are you going to handle being homeless?
Or how are you going to handle living your last days in a hospital?
So don't drink, smoke, or take drugs if you don't think you can handle the consequences or your family's disappointment.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
For over 35 years, Stevenson Insurance Associates in Greensburg has been saving their customers money on their auto insurance. If you are a safe driver and dissatisfied with the cost of your auto insurance, call Stevenson Insurance Associates at 724-832-9889. Lock in your great rate that won't change year to year unless you move, add a new driver, or buy a new vehicle. Call Stevenson Insurance Associates today for your free quote on auto, home, business, or life insurance at 724-832-9889.
Dr. Scott Learn and his dental team have been caring for the community for over 20 years. Dr. Learn offers a wide variety of dental services, including oral exams, gingivitis treatments, crowns, veneers, and more. He even makes custom sports mouth guards. Call 724-537-3314 or visit scottelearndmd.com. Dr. Scott Learn General and Cosmetic Dentistry in Latrobe, giving you the confidence to enjoy your smile.
Back here on the post-game show, Seton Hill takes care of business 23-3 as they advance to the GMAC championship game that we played on Saturday at noon, awaiting their opponent. It's either number 1 Mercyhurst or number 4 Walsh. Surprisingly, the Lakers had a narrow 11-8 lead at the half of that contest. Sean and Dan here on the Westmoreland Sports Network. We're going to have some player interviews upcoming momentarily. Thomas Hanulak and McGarity Harper, we believe, will be joining us. But the Griffins in this one, really just an incredibly dominant performance after what was fairly competitive through the first 20 or so minutes. Griffins broke this one open in a big, big way, and we're going to welcome them in now. Who wants to go first? McGarity? Okay.
You can't.
We're gonna.
You can't get
They wanted questions prepped, so.
I'll go first.
All right.
I might say something goofy, but.
All right. So we now welcome in McGarity Harper, and sir. Oh, I can't go much further, Flick. I'm getting my head yanked off here. This is going terrifically. Yep, it's underneath the table. There we go. All right. Well, I'll just stand here and hope that it works. Well, McGarity, first off, congratulations. Really a dominant performance from your team. After it was a pretty competitive opening 20 minutes or so, your team just went on an incredible run from that point forward. What really changed?
I would just say after, I think we called a timeout in the first quarter or after the first quarter or something. In the first quarter, a few things weren't going, and then once we had a talk or something, then we went back out and felt like we learned from what Coach Bisset had to say and what Coach Savani had to say.
Well, so you played this team in the regular season. You won by 20 goals, but the difference was they didn't have a couple of their top players who were out there today, so we thought it might be a little bit more of a potent attack for Lake Erie, yet you limited them to 3 goals total. So talk about the collective effort, both goaltenders and everyone playing team defense to keep them off the scoreboard.
I just think once we started scoring a few goals, it made the defense a lot more confident, and then Mo was making a bunch of saves, made him a lot more gain a lot more confidence throughout the game, and yeah.
And so you mentioned Kevin Mo.
Yeah.
Interesting that he gets to start today because he came into the season with all the accolades, preseason, All-American, things like that. But for the most part, he was a backup. Now that he's back in there, how much confidence did you have that you have a veteran who's kind of been through it all between the pipes?
Oh, it's great. Having a veteran like Mo in net makes everyone more confident about their game and everything. And it just if you have a turnover, you know that if they get the ball and Kevin's going to make a save and we're going to get the ball right back.
As broadcasters, we look and say this could be a lopsided matchup based on how the teams have done throughout the season, including the head-to-head. But you can't look at it that way as a player. So what was the mindset heading into this game, making sure that you took care of business?
We just went into it like it was any other game. If it was like it's our last game of the year. We didn't look forward at the championship. We didn't look behind us. We just went in like it was our last game of the year.
Well, it's not your last game of the year, fortunately. You move on to Saturday. Now, we don't know yet. Mercyhurst is in a competitive game right now that a lot of people expect, ultimately it will be the Lakers. But regardless of opponent, what will be key to bring home the 3rd championship in team history on Saturday?
I just think not turning the ball over as much as we did last time and just being aggressive on the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball.
Well, thank you so much for doing this, McGarity. Congratulations on the victory. Dominant once again here today, moving on to the championship on Saturday.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, absolutely. We'll now welcome in your teammate if you want to cross over here. Yeah, we're making you duck and jump.
Watch your foot, Gary. There you go.
All right, so now we are joined by another veteran goal scorer on this team, Thomas Hanulak, the graduate. And so I know that you recently got into the 100-point club in your career, and obviously it's a big accomplishment. You're not the only one.
Nope.
We talked to McGarity, and I know you had another player in Zach Esterbrooks at least close to that. I'm not sure if you got there today or not. What does it say about the depth of this team that you have so many players, not just this year, but throughout the course of their career, who have really put up big numbers?
I mean, it just speaks to how well our coaches have been able to develop us from when we came in. And it's honestly a big thanks to our teammates. When we were freshmen, McGarity and I, even Esterbrooks as well, we had great leaders in front of us who helped show us the way and how we play like Seton Hill Lacrosse. So it just helped throughout the years. Our coaches and our teammates have helped develop us into what we've been able to do so far this year and then along our past couple of years as well.
It wasn't just the who provided that. There was some guys radar who got things going. Grady Arnold, early Blake Morrow had 3 goals.
Yeah.
So talk about the other guys when you get a big lead like this, that they're able to shine, and what you've seen from those players, because I'm sure that's going to be key moving forward.
Yeah, so the big thing that we talk about is just not having any drop-off once we get those younger guys in. So I think they did a great job handling themselves with all the pressure that was being thrown at them, but then also it just speaks to how well we compete in practice. Like they go against our top defense day in and day out, so they're able to develop their skills, which then translates to when they get on the field in the game. They're able to produce and obviously score a bunch of goals for us.
You know all about that, team leader and goals and shots coming in. So what are your best attributes?
I would just say my best attributes are playing off ball, but then also just playing within the flow of our offense, making sure that I get everybody involved, but not just having McGarry, Rensler, me, Brooks, everybody just help out, which has led to me being able to get a bunch of shots and a bunch of goals.
Your team ended this game on a 17-0 run.
Yes.
What stood out during that surge that really started early in the second quarter?
I would just say our defense played absolutely just lockdown defense today. We played how we wanted to play, and which allowed us to get the ball on offense a bunch of times. Our face-off guys, our wing play allowed us to get the ball on offense, which allowed us to go on that 17-0 run. And then, like I said, having those younger guys go in, just playing Seton Hill lacrosse and not having any drop-off was huge.
Were you part of the last championship team here at Seton Hill?
I was, yes. I was part of the 2018 championship as
so
well.
I'm sure you can kind of put this in perspective. What's going to be key, and what would that ultimately mean if you guys do capture that championship?
That would be just incredible, but we got to put in the work the next 2 days to prepare for it. Our last game against them was an absolute dogfight, which we're expecting it to be again if Mercyhurst is able to pull out the victory against Walsh. I know they're in a close battle right now, but it would just mean the world to us, which would then allow us to hopefully keep playing beyond Saturday.
Well, Thomas, thank you so much for doing
Thank
this.
you so
Congratulations. Good luck on Saturday.
Thank you. I really
Thomas
appreciate it.
Hanulak
Thank you.
for Seton Hill here on the post game.
Coach Novotny in as well.
All right. See you all ready? All right, I'll let you walk behind me, Coach. Make it easier.
I get to hold this guy, huh?
Yep, now joined by the head coach, Brian Novotny. So, first off, I know that you probably want to make sure that your team has the right mindset, because when you beat a team by 20 goals the first time, maybe you overlook them. But it didn't seem like from the second quarter on you were in that mindset. So what maybe changed after somewhat of a competitive opening 20 minutes?
I think it's very similar to what we saw the first game here was the first game we played them was that it was a really competitive first quarter. They're a talented team, and we expected that. I think just continuing to play our game, though, just continuing to get to it. You know, we've been working on that all year, is just getting to our game. And I thought our guys did a great job of doing that.
I know I talked to you before. You had a big decision as far as who you're going to start in that. Josh Miller has gotten the lion's share this season, and yet you go with Kevin Moe. And he wasn't tested a ton, but I thought he came up with some big saves early. What went into that decision, and how did he make sure that he paid off that decision?
Yeah, no, I think that's been an evaluation we've been making all year, and Josh has done a great job. He's had an awesome year. Kevin's really turned it on the last couple of weeks. He's had great practices. He came in relief in our game against Tampa, and he had a really good game there, and it's just really sort of built off of that. And his confidence is there. The team's playing in front of him really well, man. He's doing a great job of being a leader, which he always has. So I think it was just really, which goalie gives us the best chance to win, and we thought that Kevin was that guy.
You've been here a long time. You've guided 2 teams to GMAC championships. Last year, your team made the NCAA tournament. What's special and what's unique about this version of the Seton Hill team?
Man, every team is special and every team is unique. This one, I mean, we've had so much adversity that we battled through, throughout the entirety of the year, man. Our lineup, the weather, I mean, just anything you can imagine, and they've stayed together and stayed committed throughout the entirety of it. They've just done a great job of coming together as a team and staying in the fight.
And finally, you don't know who yet you're going to be playing on Saturday, but what who the opponent may be.
I think our mindset and our mentality and our preparation, it's going to be a short turnaround here, but before we play whomever it's going to be, it's just making sure that we're taking care of the small things and taking care of ourselves and again, really working to get to our game.
Well, Coach, certainly you got to that game today, 23-3. You move on to the championship. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, Coach Novotny, kind enough to join us here on the post game as Seton Hill moves on. They will play Saturday. Again, depending on the outcome, it could potentially be here in Greensburg, or they will make the trek up to Erie to play Mercyhurst, depending on what happens in that number 1 Mercyhurst versus number 4 Walsh game. We mentioned the season comes to an end for Lake Erie as the Storm conclude with a mark of 7-7. Seton Hill moves on to the championship. They'll be in pursuit of their 3rd GMAC title. They are now 11-6. That'll do it here today. I want to thank both head coaches, Brian Novotny on the Seton Hill side, Sam Ashton on the Lake Erie side, for providing information. And then also want to thank McGarity Harper on the postgame joining us, as well as Thomas Hanulak. Thank you so much for everyone tuning in to our coverage. Remember, we will have women's lacrosse action Friday and Sunday. It will be both semifinals and the championship we will have right here on the Westmoreland Sports Network. Excited for that one, Flick?
Yeah, absolutely. That should be a lot of fun. Before we sign off, I do want to say hello to Zach Sforzo. Shout out to the SHU Griffs. Next stop, GMAC Conference Championship. Also want to recognize Jeremy Sforzo. He was the Seton Hill Male Scholar Athlete of the Year. That's one award that I forgot to mention. So
how could you forget that?
Congratulations. Well, because I obviously am not good on the academic side, right? So
that's fair.
That's why I didn't announce a Student of the Year. And so get Zach Sforzo there, and I just want to thank everybody that emailed in to us, and looks like Mercyhurst might be pulling away from Walsh, unfortunately, for the Griffin fans. It's 15-9 now.
Well, you'd love to play at home, but by the same token, I think to get to where you want, you're going to have to beat the best team.
Well, and I think the Griffins really, if they needed any confidence against Mercyhurst, I know they lost, but they played really well in that game in Erie. So, I mean, I'm sure the atmosphere is happy. Mercyhurst did of luck in that one.
18 Lakers victory last month. But for now, we will sign off. Seton Hill wins this one. Final score 23-3, defeating Lake Erie. For my colleague Dan Flickinger, for our videographer Marcus Weekland, Sean Myers saying thank you so much for tuning into our coverage of Seton Hill men's lacrosse. It's been right here on the Westmoreland Sports Network.